it's usefully in the rains all the time. It's really to get rainy.
Good to go. Martinborough is live. Yep. Yeah, I'll make a start. So welcome board members and staff and so members of the public, but we don't have any. Welcome to this meeting of the Martinborough Community Board. This meeting is held in the Supper Room, Waihinga Centre, Texas Street, Martinborough on Monday, the 8th of December, starting slightly late at 7:07 p.m. This meeting is being live streamed to our YouTube channel. In case of emergency, the emergency exits for this room are the door you came in at the end and the door behind me. If we need to evacuate the building, our assembly area is on the playground, and we please need to remain in that assembly area until the building has been confirmed as clear. And can we all please ensure that mobile phones are on silent? And if you need the bathrooms, they are down the hall behind me. So if we would like to start with the karakia, would you like to do it together or you want to do it individually or what? Want to do it together? Yeah, sure. We do normally have them on the wall, but they are missing tonight. So it's on page 4 of the agenda. Kia ora, Marino, kia whakapapa, nāno te moana. Hei ora hi mā tātou i te rangi nei. Aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou ia tātou katoa, prie tai ki. Okay. Yes, there is. Don't worry about it. We'll see in a moment. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. That was Chris. Apologies for lateness. Okay, so if we move on to apologies. We've got apologies from Councillor Elins and we now have apologies from Councillor Archer for lateness. Do I have a mover to accept the apologies? Seconder? Any conflicts of interest to declare? It's a pretty procedural agenda. Any acknowledgements or tributes?
Yes, I'd like to make 2 tributes. So we've got Margaret Peake, who moved here. Her husband was the bank manager a long time ago. Her daughter Annette works at the doctors, and Margaret's been a long time an active member of the community here in Martinborough. And also Graham Clark, who, oh goodness me, he was active on most of the farming, tractor association, the vintage cars, and he used to own Cottle and Stevens, and again, so he's a long time business owner, and community member. Yeah, bring to them.
Have they passed?
Past.
Correct. Your Jim's father.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Mel. No public participation tonight, so there will be no actions from public participation. I don't think we have any urgent business to table. No? Okay, I will then move on to the agenda. Item 8.1, making and attesting of members' declarations. Could I have a mover to receive the report? Yeah. So the intention of this report is to recognise that James, Mel and Nana, you all went through your declarations on the 29th of October in the Featherstone Anzac Hall. And in addition to that, Councillor Archer and Councillor Elins have been appointed as the council representatives. And the other very important part of tonight is for James Ross to actually make his declaration so that he can move and second actions on the agenda.
Alrighty. I, Ross Brian Andrew, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the South Wairarapa District the powers authorities and duties vested or imposed upon me as a member of the Martinborough Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, brackets Legoima, or any other act today.
So if you sign and then I can sign and then you are officially sworn in.
Yeah.
I'll give that to you. You're now official. So the recommendations are to note that the Mayor has received and witnessed the declarations of James Brodie, Mel Maynard and Nana Boyle as members of the Martinborough Community Board on the 29th of October 2025. Note that councillor appointments to the Martinborough Community Board are Councillor Archer and Councillor Elims. Notes that the Chief Executive has received and witnessed the declaration of Board Member Ross Andrew. Can I have a mover and seconder for those recommendations, please?
Who was the second?
Jane.
Note the first one receiving the report.
I don't think we have one.
But, yeah.
We have a second.
No. So do we need one?
Yes. Just need a mover and seconder for 2, 3, 4 and for 1. Otherwise, it's
Okay.
Let me get past it.
Who moved the first one? Mel. James, did you want to do number? I forgot to get a seconder for number 1.
Yep. Thank you.
So we're on to item 8.2, election of chairperson and deputy chairperson. Talk to this, Shannon.
I can. So I'll take the report as read. Does everybody have an understanding of the first system and the second system? You want me to go over anything that's in that report? I've made a recommendation that system B, if we were to use it, would be the best option purely because we don't generally have, it's only one round of voting, and we generally don't have more than 1 to 2 people that would stand to nominate themselves as chair or deputy chair. So it's just a much simpler process. So if you're happy with that. So we would need to move to note the information in the contained report and adopt then system B, if that was the case, as our voting system.
Okay.
You happy with 1 and 2 to be done together?
Yes. Mover and seconder for that.
Mel and Ross?
So do we need to adopt 3? Agree that in the event of a tie, the selection will be made by way of the toss of a coin or drawing of names from a hat, just in case.
Yes, actually, we can include that. Can I use the same movers and seconders for 3
For
as well?
3?
Yep, Mel and Ross.
Okay. Now we get to the business end of the resolution in electing the chairperson and the deputy chairperson. So can you?
Do we have nominations for the chair or deputy chair?
So I'd like to nominate James Brodie for chair of the Martinborough Community Board and a nomination for Nana Boyle as deputy chair.
Are there any other nominations? No.
Do you,
In that case, we won't need to.
do you
use
the
system
people
B.
accept the nomination? Yes. Then in that case, we have elected James Brodie to be the chairperson and Nana Boyle to be the deputy chairperson of the Martinborough Community Board. Do we move and seconder? Mover and seconder?
Mel.
Yeah, I'll just-
Cool. That means I can now stop leading this meeting and you can come and sit next to me and do it from here. Or there.
No, congratulations.
Dennis is right.
Both of you. I think Chris might get here and we'll be finished.
That means the beers are on him, right?
Welcome.
Hey.
Table.
Can I just say thank you to the members of the Martinborough Community Board. We've discussed this quite a lot. And we've agreed it together, basically. So it's thank you. And also to Nana for offering to be the deputy chair. It's great. Look forward to working with you, with all of you actually. All right, so,
on item 8.3.
okay. So I'll read the purpose. This is a general explanation from the Chief Executive, and it's been prepared by Jenna Smith, Chief Executive Officer, to provide community board members with a general explanation of the laws affecting members in their role. Do you want to speak to it?
I would take the report as read. I think obviously the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act is a very important part of the legislation that runs councils that you need to be aware of. It's really important to understand that you can be asked to submit any written information, emails, text messages, those kind of things, if they are governed by a member of the public. So unless there's some kind of legal privilege attached to something, it's very little information that the public can't access. So it's really important that you have a read of what's in this report and you understand what that means. Obviously, if we have reports that we put to the table and at community board level, they don't happen often, but they do happen, that are publicly excluded, that means the public is excluded from the conversation and any decision making until such time as I determine that that can be made in public. So there could be negotiations or specific costs associated to something, or something that I need to talk to you about that I wouldn't want the public to have that information, because it could adversely affect a decision or the way that we're able to negotiate for an outcome. So they're very rare at community board level, but they can happen. So when those things occur, then it's absolutely imperative that you maintain the confidentiality around that until such time as we take that heading away from it. Obviously, the Local Authorities Members' Interest Act is where you are dealing with your interests, and there's two parts to that: the pecuniary interest, and I don't know if there are any business relationships between any of you and council, but if there were, then there's a financial limit on how much you could actually work for council, community board member or councillor. A non-pecuniary interest is one that occurs where the public may think that you demonstrate a bias because of an attachment or an involvement with a group, and that can happen here. When you have groups coming for grants and support, it's really important that if you have a direct relationship with that group or the people that are coming to seek the grant funding, that you actually notify the table. Then it can be discussed, and if people think that no, there is no pecuniary interest, you move on. If there is felt to be too much of a closeness in a relationship or something, then you would be asked to step away from the table while the decision is made. So they're very important parts to actually understand at this table. We also have a few other acts. The Crimes Act. That's where, and it doesn't happen so much in local government, but it can happen quite a lot in business, where people give you gifts, like we're getting towards Christmas, and it could be, you know, that you get a gift for something, and you have to be really careful about making sure that they are notified and that they're below a certain level, or just don't accept them, because they could be seen to influence an outcome at a later point in time. So whilst it could be a generous act from somebody to try and give you a gift or say thank you, it's probably best that you decline to accept, just so you keep that relationship clear of any potential conflict in the future. We also have an act called the Protected Disclosures Act, better known as the Whistleblowers Protection. So if there was ever anything that you felt was untoward or shouldn't be happening and you were concerned, predominantly around potentially, say, contract letting or fraud or anything like that, there is a process that you can use, or that any of my staff can use, that protects them from making that, so that they can't then be punished or dismissed or disciplined in any way for having raised a flag, and there's a proper process and officers within council who would do the investigations. Health and Safety at Work Act, the one that breaks my mind most days. There is liability for elected members, which means that if anything goes horribly wrong, you can't be sent to jail, but unfortunately I can. So I discourage anyone from doing anything that's going to result in a breach of the Health and Safety at Work Act. And I think that's it. Have a good read of it. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop me an email or just get on the phone and ask if you're not sure.
Janice, the things that are most likely are tickets to events and bottles of wine,
Mhm.
the kinds of gifts that people turn up. So would one declare them, and if so, where, or otherwise refuse them?
It can be quite common for gifts to events. I've seen tickets for
It's a very standard thing that the business people are.
wings over wire upper, those kind of things, for instance. It's probably best to drop an email to Shannon to just say you've been gifted tickets to Booktown, and that you will be accepting, or you'll spread them around the board or whatever. Generally, we say, I think it's anything up to $100. We have a gift register and we keep a list for anything that comes into staff, because obviously at this time of year we get them as well from companies and things that deal with us. So we just log them and make sure that they're available within the office. We often get boxes of biscuits or things like that. So, but yeah, so long as they're registered, so I'll drop an email to Shannon and then we can put it on the gifts register.
Determine if it's plan.
I don't think it'll happen this Christmas.
The main one was the grants. This is your big, dishing out money to communities, and I think that's where you need to be really careful of that situation getting.
Yeah.
Receiving
That's the one.
for a grant.
Community, everybody wears different hats and goes into different, things. It's just part of being a small.
Sometimes there's also an expectation with some tickets, like I know with Featherston, they've received tickets because they want the board members to actually come along to the community event. So that's
which
a
is
bit
quite-
different as well.
Yeah.
It's not like here's tickets to a concert in Wellington. It's like here's tickets to an event that we're running. And as a community board, we'd like you to attend.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
Yeah.
And obviously I get them as well, the mayor gets them, so we just keep a record of what we've had.
Okay, so that shall I read the recommendations? The Martinborough Community Board receives the general explanation from the Chief Executive's report, receives the information provided by the Chief Executive on the Local Government Act 2002, Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, appropriate provisions of the Local Authority Members' Interests Act 1968, Crimes Act 1961, sections 99, 105 and 105A, Secret Commissions Act 1910, Protected Disclosures Act 2000, Personal Liability of Elected Members, and the Health and Safety at Work Act 2015. Shall I move that they be received?
Yes.
Someone like to move? Mel? You'll move on. Okay. Item 8.4, Community Board meeting schedule for 2026. And this is your paper. Would you like to talk to it?
I'll take it as read. One of the things we need to do at our first meeting is to either set our next meeting or set our schedule of meetings. So as councils obviously set their schedule of meetings, I thought we just put dates in here for the whole year. we've got you in on a Monday. We've talked, I think I've talked with you individually in regard to Thursday night used to be community board meeting night, but now council's on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. So I think everybody was okay with moving it to a Monday because the other option would be Friday night, and I'm sure you probably wouldn't want to do that. So did anybody have any issues with any of these dates or?
Only that in the calendar attached there.
Yeah, so that's what I've actually noted in the report.
Oh.
So that was the meeting schedule that was adopted by council.
Yeah.
So I've just attached that as reference and then made a note to say that the attached document that was adopted by council is incorrect and the Greytown and the Martinborough boards need to be swapped around. And then I've listed those dates with the exception of the Tuesday, 20th of April, because Anzac Day is a Monday, so we're all just going to share. Okay.
I just, is May missing for any reason, or is it just sort of?
So it's just because it's 6 weekly, not monthly.
Fine.
Nothing? No.
No, Monday's fine.
I may be, I mean, but it doesn't matter. I can always just.
Occasionally there's going to be apologies from people. So you've got an option to live stream and if you physically can't be here, in person's obviously preferable, live stream if you can't make it, and then just a simple apology if you actually can't attend. It's not expected that everybody's going to be available every single one of these meetings. So, yeah.
So the recommendations are that the Martinborough Community Board resolve to receive the report, Community Board Meeting Schedule 2026, and agree to the meetings taking place as listed in the document. So would someone move that?
Yeah.
You. Oh, that's right. We've got an extra one on your list.
That's good.
Hmm.
Fine. Right. Urgent approval for the Christmas parade expenditure. This is a very important
Yeah.
approval that's required. So Shannon, do you want to, you've written this,
Sure.
so can you speak to it, please?
So again, I'll take it as read because we've obviously hashed out this a wee bit. As you know, there's $3,037 of available funding that was carried over from the last year's finances. And we've got two payments here, one for the 630 plus GST for the plan to actually be set. And then 1,200 of plus GST for traffic assist to actually run the event on the day. We did our due diligence and got the two quotes for the event to be run on the day, and we've taken the lesser of the two. And thanks to everybody for their work involved in this, considering the circumstances. So I've attached values to invoices to this report. There is also a small amount of money, so I haven't received the actual invoice from the Martinborough Star yet for the amount for the advertisement to go into the newspaper, but I know it's not more than $150. I think it's actually around $80 plus GST. But I thought if we ratified up to that 150, then we're covered. And that won't affect your budgets from this year because it was funding available from that's carried over from last year. So your 15,000 will still stay intact.
Any comment? Do we need to talk about it at all?
I mean, it pretty much is exactly as it's been laid out here. So the from the two quotes that we received, that they were traffic assist, and I can't remember who the other one was, but that was both have organised and operated the traffic management plan for the Christmas parade in the past. Yeah, and so we went for the one that was most fiscally responsible.
Okay, so recommendations. That the community board resolve to note the information contained in the report, approve the payment to actually it's
To the picture.
no.
no.
Is it A&K Traffic Management for 630 GST? That was for the development of the plan,
Getting the
but it's to traffic assist,
Yeah.
1,200 plus GST to actually carry it out.
Correct.
and approve a payout to the Martinborough Star of up to $150. So, the mover, Melanie mover. Russell seconds. Just would like to have his name taken. Would show that he's here.
What he's saying today.
Oh. Do the closing cut again, no?
Before we close, are there any other issues that we need to talk about in relation to Christmas parade while we're all together? Because it's next
It'll be Sunday.
Sunday, isn't
Yeah.
it? You think it's all under control?
Controllable, look what happens when they get a list tomorrow. Yes.
I hope that's under control, I think. And we'll turn up on the day. And I've registered as well, so
Right.
do we have many registrations?
Yeah, been a few, so we're just waiting on the most recent numbers. Yeah,
It's going to be okay.
yeah. Just so you know, so in Carlton, which just had their parade on the weekend, they only got 12 registered, but they had something like 30 odd different floats and things show up. So not
Okay.
everybody, is
Register.
necessarily going to register. It's just something to bear in mind that.
Yes,
But yeah, will be people who.
Just
Yeah.
appear with.
Yeah, well, they just won't know to register, so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks.
sure.
So Mel, are you organising when people will actually turn up and who will turn up for us?
Do you mean like once we've got the final for the floats, do you
Yes.
mean? Or-
And you know, like, does everybody here on the board know what they're doing? We're turning, but
You mean-
what time
Yes.
are we turning?
Yeah, so it's from 3, we'll be wanting the floats and things to start arriving. But once we get their final list, we'll contact everybody as well, make sure that they're aware. I'd like to just do a little, some health and safety check too, so that everybody knows.
We'll hear from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely catch up about it.
So any
I'm
else
just seeing if I can actually make it.
to be there?
Because we're,
Yeah, might be difficult.
Exactly.
but I'll let you know.
okay.
Anything else, folks? No? So shall we finish with the character?
Okay. On the back page.
Okay. We'll move to
So my.
we end the first.
Are we off?